You are watching No Filter with Debbie. These are my views and opinions. Welcome to No Filter with Debbie. I'm Debbie Schlussel, and you know what's driving me crazy? St. Patrick's Day. No, not because I'm Irish. I know they say everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day. I happen to be Jewish, not Irish. There is actually a very negligible Irish population or population of North Dakotans who are of Irish descent in North Dakota. Very small percentage. But that said, it is St. Patrick's Day. There's a lot of things you probably don't know about St. Patrick. Number one, he was not Irish. Yeah, that's true. He was not Irish. Also, he was a slave. Yes, he was an indentured servant, and he did not, contrary to the popular myth or legend, he did not drive snakes out of Ireland. In fact, there never were snakes in Ireland at that time. I believe there still are not, although I can't believe it because, you're always seeing those stories about these planes that go from Guam to somewhere else, and some fruit tree snake gets caught on the plane or ends up on the plane. And then when they land, that snake ends up in the new location. I can't believe that hasn't happened to Ireland yet. Maybe it has, and we just don't know about it. But anyway, St. Patrick did not chase the snakes out of Ireland. There's a lot more about him you may not know, contrary to the popular mythology. But yes, today is St. Patrick's Day, where in pre COVID times, people would go to the bars and get drunk. I think they're still doing that today, only at some places at lesser capacity. On this day, the river in the middle of Chicago was dyed green traditionally. They actually did this as a surprise this year. They weren't planning on it. And yes, it is celebrated in Ireland. Now, something that you may not know, which drives me crazy about Ireland, is that Ireland may soon, if trends in demographics keep going the way they have been going for the last couple of decades, Ireland may no longer be Irish. Yes, that's right. First of all, you may not know this, but there is something like 11 times more Irish people in America, people of Irish descent, than there are people in Ireland. And of those people living in Ireland, guess what is the third largest religion and the fastest growing religion in Ireland? Guess. You will probably not guess unless you follow me online, because I've written about this before. It is, I'll give you a hint, it starts with Islam. Yes. Islam is the most rapidly growing religion in much of Europe, including in Ireland. So, this is an article from actually 2000. When is this article? I think it's 2013. And this is from The Independent, which is the main newspaper in Ireland. It's the most popular newspaper. And this article is from 2013. And it says it's going to become the second religion by 2043. Now, some estimates since then say that it may actually even be sooner. At the time this article was written, there were not the number of Muslims that there are in Ireland today, and they have multiplied geometrically in terms of their high birth rate, their high immigration rate, because remember, Great Britain, even though they had Brexit and they exited from the EU, or are supposed to soon, it's supposed to wind down. One of the reasons they exited was the immigration policies, but it's already too late. The Great Britain population has mostly been taken over by Islam. In fact, Mohammed is the most popular name, not only in England for a boy, but in London for a boy, but in all of England. And so that's England. I know we're talking about Ireland for St. Patrick's Day. At the time of that article, there were not as many Muslims. That article predicted that there would be 100,000 Muslims at least in Ireland by 2043. I believe that's going to be sooner, and here's why. So that was the first text graphic from this article. I will, or from that article, that was the headline. But I want to show you more from a different article, and this will help explain what is going on. So let's take a look at the first screen. So in 1991, Islam accounted for just 0.1% of the Irish population. That soared to 1.1%, a tenfold increase. It's actually 11-fold increase. Or it's times 11, by 2011, when a total of 49,204 Muslims were resident in Ireland, Ireland's Muslim population exceeding 100,000 by 2020. Now, we don't know, it is now 2021. We don't know if they've reached 100,000, and I'll tell you why. Because the last Irish census was taken in 2016, so 5 years ago. And in 2016, there were almost 70,000 Muslims in Ireland. And the way the numbers have been increasing, it's going to be faster than that 100,000 prediction. It's actually probably by now more than that, and we will find out at the next Irish census. Now let's look at the second quote from, this is an article written by Muslims at a website called, I believe it's called TripSavvy.com. Today, roughly 1.1%, and this was written, by the way, in 2019, but it was based on the 2016 Irish census. Today, roughly 1.1% of the Irish population are Muslims. Most would be immigrants. Only 30% have Irish citizenship. This is the highest number of Muslims ever in the country, with a growth of 69% in the decade before the 2011 census and a 1,000% growth since 1991. Islam can today claim to be the third or second largest religion in Ireland, second place going to the Roman Catholic Church and the Church of Ireland. I believe it's already in second place, because once they reach 100,000 Muslims, that's second place. And I believe they're well past that based on the 2011 census and the rate of growth to the 2016 census. I think this year is the next year that they will be doing the Irish census, and we will find out. We will be following this story. But again, the fastest growing religion in Ireland is Islam. And the immigration problem that they have there, that's in America, but we don't have such a small population like they do. We have a much larger population, and in Ireland, it is fast being taken over by Islam. Now, I know you don't believe me, but I just read you those articles with those numbers. That is from the Irish census. I don't do the Irish census. Ireland does it. We don't make up these numbers. This is the trend, and this is what's going on throughout Europe. But since today's St. Patrick's Day, I wanted to focus on Ireland. Now, we are almost at the break, but I just want to introduce our next topic because it is so important, and it relates to how Ireland became so Muslim and how it has changed basically overnight in a few years. Yes, not overnight, over one night, but a few years, it has transformed tremendously. And here in America, we have that problem too. We have a huge immigration problem with many people transforming the complexion and the character of America. And we've been seeing, particularly in the last few days, even the liberal media and liberal politicians, as we pointed out on yesterday's show, critical of Joe Biden's crazy non-policy, his immigration open borders policy. And when we come back, we will show you some of what he said recently and some of the really alarming things that are going on at the southern border. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Hi, Hunter Ellis here for Night Hero Binoculars by Atomic Beam. These binoculars let you see anything, even in pitch black darkness. Gotcha.
The secrets are powerful wide-angle atomic beam laser, that reveals objects up to 150 yards away hidden by darkness.
During the day, Night Hero gives you 10 times magnification. And when the sun goes down, press the Night Bright button to see clearly in the dark.
Light up garbage-eating critters or spot thieves before they even get close.
Call or click now and get Night Hero binoculars for just $39.99. Order right now and you can double it. Plus, get our best-selling atomic beam flashlight, just pay a separate fee. We'll even ship them to you free. This TV special offer is not available on Amazon. You can get it all, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-619-1091. That's 1-800-619-1091. Or visit bynighthero.com. That's bynighthero.com. Order now.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity, selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@bechtel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more. Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-314-7809.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Almiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Almiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Almiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-6755.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-698-2970.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So before the break, I introduced Joe Biden's horrible non-policy on immigration enforcement. Joe Biden being our top Irish American on this St. Patrick's Day. And don't worry, Irish people, if you're watching this, and there are very few of you in North Dakota, we don't blame Joe Biden on you. We just blame him on liberal Democrats and on demented people that run for president as a default. So I just want to mention, by the way, there are 31 states in America in which Ireland or Irish roots rank in the top 3 of ethnicities. North Dakota is not one of them. You know what North Dakota's top 3 ethnicities are? Number 1, German. Number 2, Norwegian. And number 3, Native American. All right, so Joe Biden at the border, it is a crisis. He won't describe it as a crisis. His Homeland Security Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas, was asked if it was a crisis. He will not use that word. This is about semantics. Words do matter, but we don't need them to tell the truth. We know the truth. We've seen it on TV. We've seen the reports. Even the liberal media, even liberals, we showed you yesterday, Senator Schumer has called out Joe Biden about this. Senator Schumer, the far-left liberal. And we're going to tell you another Democrat that has spoken out against this. We showed you some of the Hispanic Democrat representatives in Congress from Texas that are in border districts with Mexico that are worried about this, that have asked Joe Biden to reverse this horrible open borders policy where he's basically signaled to these illegal aliens to come in. And by the way, I have a question before I get into this about Joe Biden's policy. So he said He's not going to do what Donald Trump did, put children in cages. All right, you know what? Donald Trump never put kids in cages. They were in detention centers, and there were far fewer of them than there are now. And as we showed you on yesterday's show, Joe Biden has thousands of them. And because of that, they have no place to put them. They are converting hotels into detention centers on your dime. And the kids are being sent without their parents. So guess what? When they're sent without their parents, they get put into these detention centers. Same policy. The policy, by the way, that began under Obama Biden. Yes, Joe Biden. He wasn't speaking out against it then. He says that he's different. Here's how he's different. Donald Trump turned away kids that were unaccompanied. Joe Biden is letting them all in. So we have thousands of them. Donald Trump said, if parents come in who are illegal aliens with their kids, we will separate the parents from the kids because the parents need to be deported immediately. Joe Biden says, don't come with your kids because we won't let you in, which he is letting them in anyway, by the way. Just send your kids. So these parents are sending their kids with the coyotes and others. And these kids have phone numbers of relatives or faux relatives. They're probably not related. We're not doing DNA tests. Donald Trump did the DNA test, see if they were related. These phone numbers are pinned to their jackets. So these kids are in these detention centers. And Joe Biden's policy is letting them in, and they're overcrowded. This is a disaster. So I want you to see this headline from NBC News, liberal NBC News. Southwest border crossings on pace for highest levels in 20 years, Biden administration says. Border agents are encountering 565 unaccompanied migrant children crossing the border on average per day, up from 313 children per day last month. And last month, by the way, was a Joe Biden presidency month as well. It was a lot lower under Donald Trump. By the way, you probably, I know I keep saying by the way, but there's so much to this. There's so many aspects. And you probably will not see those numbers again. Why? Because the Biden administration is now muzzling the Border Patrol, telling them they cannot give out these numbers. Why? Because these numbers are embarrassing to them. And so they can't give out the numbers. We can't find out what's going on. People are going to have to do Freedom of Information Act requests. They're going to have to sue the government. Journalists need to do this. Journalists may or may not want to do this because many of them are in on this, although we're now seeing even some of them criticizing this policy. And Joe Biden doesn't want people to know. We showed you that in the past under Donald Trump, ICE and Border Patrol and Customs and Border Protection, under which Border Patrol falls, tweeted about this kind of information. They tweeted about who was coming into the country. They wanted you to know who they were kicking out and who they couldn't find so you could help them find these people. That is no longer the case. And now they don't want you to know the numbers. And Border Patrol agents and their brass, their bosses atop of them, say that they are being muzzled and gagged. There is a gag rule against CBP, Customs and Border Protection. So good luck finding out this information. You always have to ask, what are they trying to hide? If this was not a disaster, if this were not a disaster, why would they muzzle these people? Sunlight is the best disinfectant, sunshine. They don't want the sunshine. They want the cockroaches to fester. That's what's going on here. And no, I'm not comparing illegal aliens to cockroaches. I'm comparing the festering problem. Although there are some illegal aliens. Donald Trump was right when he went down that stairway, down the escalator at Trump Tower. Some of them are criminals. Some of them are good people. Some of them are rapists. Some of them are murderers. Some of them are drunk drivers and bank robbers. And we showed you the other day, not only were there bank robbers, but there were meth creators, meth pimps. So that's what's going on. Now, that was the headline. Joe Biden was asked about this at the White House. Check out this video if you can hear it. So he was asked, in case you could not hear it, it's hard to hear over that mask, the muffling, but he was asked, Mr. President, are you going to visit the southern border? We have a giant crisis there. He should be visiting the southern border. Donald Trump visited it many times to see what was going on so that he could help solve the crisis that has now reappeared because of Joe Biden. And he said, no, not at the moment. Now, we don't have the clips of this, but George Stephanopoulos last night of ABC News interviewed Joe Biden, and he asked him about this. Joe Biden constantly said he wanted to open the borders. I don't know if you remember this, but the September debate against Donald Trump, he said he wanted all these refugees to be let in immediately. He said, and let them have a hearing because that's who we are. It's a direct quote. Donald Trump said, no, we can't have this. Joe Biden said, no, I want them all to come because they'll have a hearing. That's who we are. Now he's saying, he told George Stephanopoulos, I want to tell them don't come, go home, stay home, don't come. Now he tells them after 2 months of pimping this idea that anyone can come. He bragged that on his first day in office, right after he was inaugurated, he was going to cancel Donald Trump's policies about children being turned away, about refugees having to apply from Mexico instead of being let in. Now we are seeing the results. So whatever he's telling George Stephanopoulos is irrelevant. It is lip service because we see what the policies are in action. All right, when we come back, we will talk more about Joe Biden and his disaster at the border. And also, guess what? He's finally going to hold a press conference. But the devil is in the details. We'll tell you what they are after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Introducing the Cool Turtle, the ultra-comfortable mask enhancer that creates a protective, cool, and breathable space between your mask and your face. Simply slide under any mask or gaiter and immediately feel the refreshing pocket of air surrounding your face. Cool Turtle's ergonomically designed, soft, comfortable shell immediately reduces mask friction, allowing you to breathe and talk in a comfortable environment.
I can actually breathe. With the Cool Turtle, no more sweating.
It's like I don't even have a mask on.
Call now and get not 1, not 2, but 3 Cool Turtles for just $10. Order now and we'll send you 2 more Cool Turtles free. No fees, absolutely free. Plus, you can get a 10-pack of 4-ply face masks. Just pay a separate fee. This offer is not available on Amazon. Get the real Cool Turtle now.
Call 1-800-270-1219. That's 1-800-270-1219. Or visit getcoolturtle.com. Order now.
Beck News brings you real people and real news. Every weekday on KNDB, KNDM, and KRDK. Start your evening with the Dr. Duke Show at 4. Take a fresh look at current events with Ladies of Another View at 4:30. Go down the road with Joel at 5:30. Watch No Apologies with Becker at 9. Cap off your night with No Filter with Debbie at 10. Beck News. Real people, real news.
Indoor football is back in Bismarck. Bucks football season is right around the corner. Grab a friend or family member for a night of action-packed, hard-hitting entertainment. The Bucks open at the Bismarck Event Center May 8th as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. Catch the sweetest seats in the house right on the sidelines with VIP service at a Bucks turf table. Available now for single-game purchases. Secure your tickets today by calling 701-595-0771. Bucks football, half the field and double the fun.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity, selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@bechtel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. Today is St. Patrick's Day. I've been mentioning that on the show. And you know who my favorite Irish American, and frankly, favorite Irish American U.S. president was or is? Ronald Wilson Reagan. Yes, he was an Irish American. Reagan, very Irish name. And he was very proud of his Irish heritage. One of the greatest American presidents in history. I would put Donald Trump in that category, like I've said on this show. Even though he's not Irish, he's German. But I didn't like him personally. I didn't like some of his behavior, but his policies were even right in many respects. We've had many Irish American presidents. John F. Kennedy, Ronald Reagan. I shouldn't say many. We've had three. John F. Kennedy, Ronald Reagan, Joe Biden. Bill Clinton said he was Irish too. So 4. All right. So Joe Biden is going to hold his first press conference. We showed you the tweet the other day from a New York Times journalist, Peter Baker, that showed that he has broken a record of not having press conferences. We are now well into his first 2 months of the presidency. He was sworn in January 20th. Today is March 17th. So he's almost 2 months in, still not a single press conference. Well, he's announced he's going to have one, but the devil is in the details because, listen to this, it's going to be March 25th. This is breaking the 100-year record. No U.S. president has waited this long to have his first press conference in 100 years. And here's the problem. He is only allowing pre-approved journalists to ask questions. Oh, is that how it works? Yes, that's exactly how it works. That's what happens when you have a demented man, a man who has dementia, who is almost 80 years old. He's getting up there as our president. That's what happens. He cannot answer impromptu questions. That won't happen. We showed you during the election campaign that reporters who were totally in the tank for Biden asked him things like, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream, as he was walking out there with chocolate and vanilla. I think he only had vanilla, so he's a racist. But he only takes questions now from pre-approved journalists. That means not only are they going to be pre-approved, they're going to have questions that are previewed, and he's going to have carefully rehearsed answers. No other president got to do that. None. Yes, Obama got only friendly questions except from Fox News. Even then, I have to say, the Fox News correspondent was not as tough on him as Ducey the Deuce, Peter Ducey, is on Joe Biden. Peter Ducey is doing journalism. He's the only one in that White House press corps that's actually doing the job and acting as the loyal opposition, which is what the press is supposed to do, and ask probing questions. So guess what? Ducey the Deuce, he will not get to ask a question. I guarantee you he will not. This is going to be all choreographed and rehearsed a zillion times so that Joe Biden is not going to come off as he actually is, which is as a man who has no idea what he's talking about, to whom he's saying it, where he is, and what time it is, and what year, and what office he holds. So that's going to happen. Now, back to the immigration problem, our crisis at the southern border. I want you to take a look at this tweet from Con Carroll about the number of kids per day and the shelters. So look at this. While Customs and Border Protection continues to use a Trump-era public health order known as Title 42 to rapidly return most single adult migrants back to Mexico, the Biden administration halted the practice for teens and children. Since then, their numbers have more than tripled to roughly 500 per day. The Biden administration continues to treat the crisis as a capacity shortage that can be managed by opening additional shelters rather than one that requires a major policy shift, which it does. CBP is looking at adding tent sites in Yuma and Tucson, for example, to ease overcrowding in border stations in Arizona, according to one official with knowledge of the plans who spoke on the condition of anonymity. Of course, because he'll be fired or she'll be fired if his or her name gets out there. So yeah, that's what we need on the southern border. 10 cities. That's what we need. Not a major policy shift. And this is the problem. Again, they're looking at this as a capacity shortage problem. So we need immediately to build tents and to convert hotels at U.S. taxpayer expense to shelters for illegal aliens. Not, we need to stop illegal alien children from pouring in. This is a disaster. All right. So I want you to see this video because I'm going to introduce it first. Joe Biden, as I told you, told George Stephanopoulos that I want them to stay home, these illegal aliens. I don't want them to come. Don't come. Because not don't come forever and not stay home forever. He wants them in here to build a permanent Democrat voter base. Because then they can, through chain migration, bring in their parents can bring in their grandparents and their cousins and their aunts and their uncles and so on and so forth. That's how it goes. And they're not going to do the DNA testing, by the way, that Donald Trump did to find out if these people are really related. We will have no way of confirming who they are. You think the Mexican government's going to help us identify these people and who is really whom? Think again. The Mexicans want them here. They don't want them there. The Mexicans, they have a tough immigration policy. They enforce the law. They want to send everybody here so people can work here and then send the money back to Mexico and other countries in Latin America. And in this giant sucking sound that takes income and revenue out of America and puts it in Latin America. So Joe Biden now pretending he doesn't want these illegal aliens. He's been telling and telegraphing for several months since November 7th when he was declared the president by the media. He's been telegraphing to all these illegal aliens to come. Now he's pretending otherwise. Take a look at what he said during the Democrat debate. Look at this video.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay. Let me start with you, Mayor Buttigieg. Why?
All right. Remember, you saw Joe Biden's hand go up. Remember under Obamacare when they were debating this bill, and Joe Biden, who was one of the chief salesmen of this bill, and Barack Obama told us that Obamacare is not going to pay for health care for illegal aliens. We knew they were lying. We knew it. And Joe Biden is saying that's what his plan is going to be. And bet your bottom dollar that is what his plan is going to be. All right, when we come back, we'll show you the Democrat that is outspoken now against this policy, and also a Republican I mentioned yesterday, but I got his name wrong, and I want to get it right, who is now on board with a lot of this stuff. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money. So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-716-5189. 1-800-716-5189.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
Beck Communications is hiring. Beck Communications is seeking qualified candidates for plant technicians in our Wheatland, North Dakota location. Beck Communications is an equal opportunity employer. To view the job details, visit www.beck.coop. To apply, email your cover letter and resume to careers@bechtel.coop. Beck Communications, making connections that matter.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. We are talking about the immigration crisis at the southern border that Joe Biden created in just a matter of weeks. Because remember, this problem started as soon as his presidency started. It's a disaster. And not only yesterday we showed you Chuck Schumer is against him, the liberal Democrat Senate Majority Leader. Now it's the swing vote, the Democrat prostitute, Joe Manchin. Because why do I call him a prostitute? He knows he's the one senator that can pretend he doesn't know which side he's voting on. He can be demure, and everyone courts him, and he gets to be the deciding vote. Because if he votes with the Republicans, the Democrats can't use Kamala Harris to get something by. If he votes with the Democrats, Kamala Harris votes, and it's done. So Joe Manchin is now critical of what's going on. He is worried about this. Now, why is he worried about this? I'll tell you why. Because West Virginia is a red state. Why they keep electing this guy, I don't know. But West Virginia is clearly a red state. It's a Republican state. Usually, West Virginians tend to be conservative. They are blue-collar working people. They don't want their jobs taken by illegal aliens. They don't want their kids' jobs taken by illegal aliens. They don't want to be paying for these illegal alien kids to be educated better than their kids are during COVID. They also don't want their wages and their kids' wages to be driven down by illegal aliens. Joe Manchin is not doing this because it's the right thing. He's criticizing Joe Biden because he knows if he supports this horrible thing that's going on at our borders, the Republicans could run somebody against him and they could win. This is a winning issue. We've showed you the polls. Even Democrats support secure borders. Not all of them, not even the majority of them in many instances, but enough of a chunk of them to make the difference along with everybody else. Independents and conservatives, the majority of them want immigration enforcement. All right, so that's Joe Manchin. Now, on yesterday's show, I talked about Senator Rick Scott's new DACA program that he wants. And I accidentally called him Rick Smith. I don't know why. I guess it was a tick I had in my head yesterday. I knew it was wrong and it was bothering me. It's not Rick Smith, it's Rick Scott of Florida. And by the way, he's the head of the National Republican Senatorial Committee. So he's the head campaigner for the Senate Republicans. And that is disturbing because he has chosen to make this his centerpiece legislation. And I forgot what DACA stood for. We know what it is. I just forgot the title of it. And it's deferred action, on childhood arrivals. So, and as I said yesterday, many of these people are now well into their 30s. Yes, they're not kids. They're not children. This is a misnomer. All right, so he has this new amnesty bill where he is going to give these kids, like I said, many of them are adults, citizenship ahead of everyone else. I understand they were brought here by their parents. They didn't know another country. That's the sob story. It's not the case with everyone. Some of them were brought here at 16. They speak their other language quite well. They could go back. They weren't here since their childhood. Let's face it, 16 is basically early adulthood, even though we've infantilized American young adults. So he has this new program. I want to show you, this is Ryan Girdusky's tweet. Ryan Girdusky is an independent journalist, does a lot of great work. And he says, scoop during a humanitarian crisis on the border with 100,000 plus migrants crossing every month. Senator Rick Scott is preparing to unveil a DACA amnesty. The plan would put millions of illegal aliens on a pathway to citizenship in exchange for billions of dollars for a border wall system. All right, now we're going to show you the text of the bill. We're not going to read all of it, but this is the bill. And he is introducing this, this is a false name. This is not Truth in Advertising. The Secure Border and Protect DACA Act of 2021. It's not a secure border. Did you know, I don't really care about the wall, and I'll tell you why. Did you know that the vast majority of illegal aliens in this country don't come by sneaking in the southern border? Now they do. But before Joe Biden, the vast majority of illegal aliens in this country, they come here legally. They come here on student visas, tourist visas, special talent visas, like they're a hockey player. Or, we don't have a huge influx of NHL players suddenly quitting the NHL and staying here, not leaving. But a special talent visa means you're a model, you are a hockey player, because we have a huge shortage, of models and hockey players in America, right? So that's what a special talent visa is. They come here on that. They come here on temporary work visas, and then they just don't leave. That's the majority of illegal aliens. Yes, now we have a huge problem at the southern border. It's always been a festering problem. We have a problem somewhat at the northern border. It's not as bad. But if you don't think people are coming in through Canada, who've come to Canada, they're not Canadians, but they've come through Canada, think again, that happens as well. And the Canadian border actually is a lot more porous than the Mexican border with America. You may not know that, but that's the case. In some cases, you could come in on a boat and there's some phone that is unmanned and you're supposed to stop the phone and announce yourself. So people sneaking into America are going to say, oh, I better declare myself. No, they're not. Said no one ever. All right. So that's his bill. Rick Scott wants to reintroduce amnesty under DACA. And guess what? It's going to pass because you've got him. You've got Marco Rubio, or as I call him, Marco Rubio Bubio Schmubio, because he is the immigration pimp. Remember, he was part of that Gang of Eight during Obama who was pushing amnesty. He went on Rush Limbaugh's show. He went on a lot of conservative talk radio shows and on Fox News, on all these shows saying how great it was. And a lot of these hosts, like Sean Hannity, the phony, went along with him and believed his baloney. This is that on steroids. So I do care about the border wall. When I say I don't really care, it's a figure of speech. I do care, but it's just not as important in keeping illegal aliens out and getting rid of the ones that are here and deporting them. So there's that. Now, this is a winning issue. I keep telling you this. And Donald Trump should have only campaigned on this. Take a look at this graphic. This is from justthenews.com. We've had people from that site on our show. Look at this. Should people who enter the country illegally be tested for COVID before being released to communities around the country? 90% yes. 90% of Americans polled for this. All right? That is overwhelming. And yet, Joe Biden's not testing them. He's just allowing them into the country. And when he does test them and they test positive, they still get to come into the country. What? All right. When we come back, we have a little bit more on this with Andrew McCarthy saying something about terrorists at our border. Guess what? It's true. And I'm sorry, not Andrew McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy. And also the trans athletes. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie on Beck.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? After all, a visit to the dentist can easily cost $2,000 or more. Well, relax. The Carefree Dental Card is now available in your area. Call now and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree Dental Card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. Activate your card and you can start using it immediately. From exams and cleanings to more expensive procedures like crowns, dentures, even braces, they're all included with the Carefree Dental Card. Say you go to the dentist today without any card and your bill is, well, ouch. Wait a minute, let's try that again. You go to the dentist today and show your Carefree Dental Card, you save $525. The Carefree Dental Card is just $15.95 a month, so call now and make going to the dentist carefree.
Call 1-800-416-6179 to receive your Carefree Dental Card information kit. 1-800-416-6179. Call now.
Beck Communications is now hiring independent sales agents around the state. We're looking for highly motivated individuals to take advantage of this opportunity, selling advertising for our news and sports programming on Beck TV and sponsorships for the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team. Independent sales agents will make 50% commission on their completed sales for all products. Beck TV is the leader in broadcasting local sports, owner of the Bismarck Bucks indoor football team, and originator of newly launched news opinion programming. Submit your application now at careers@bechtel.coop. This is an exciting opportunity you can't pass up. 50% commission for independent sales agents now hiring at Beck Communications.
I can't say enough good things about these nano hearing aids.
Real people talking about nano hearing aids.
The hearing quality is great.
Until now, hearing aids used to be too expensive for the average person. Until nano. Call now and you'll get your nano hearing aids for only $297. You'll save $100. When you buy one hearing aid, Nano will give you a second hearing aid free. Call right now.
1-800-213-4816.
Who do you trust with your digital life? Not all cloud backup providers keep your data truly private. Beck Cloud Backup uses advanced multi-layer encryption to keep your family photos, videos, and sensitive business documents secure and only for your eyes. Your Beck Lightband Internet service already includes 50 gigs of free storage to keep your digital life safe and secure. Call us at 701-475-2361 to start using your Beck Cloud Backup today.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Almiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Almiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Almiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie on Beck. So there was a report that there were 4 men on the terrorist watch list who came from countries in the Middle East into our country, or they tried to, through the southern border. And Kevin McCarthy, the Republican House Minority Leader in Congress, said this, and he was questioned about it and doubted. So I want you to see this video.
And when you go up to Monument 3 and you talk to those agents, it's not just people from Mexico or Honduras or El Salvador. They're now finding people from Yemen, Iran, Turkey. People on the terrorist watch list they are catching. And they're rushing it all at once.
And this is the thing, when you rush people into this country and you just allow them in, there's very little checking going on. They're not spending any time. These people get to come in. Well, when he made that claim, he was doubted. And we have even shown you, though, on this show that there were men just like this that came through the Arizona border recently as well. This is in Texas. All right, so I want you to see this tweet from a Democrat congressman. Take a look. All right, so this is from Ruben Gallego. And Ruben Gallego said that he didn't believe this because he said, weird, as the chairman of the Subcommittee on Intelligence and Special Operations and a border state member of Congress, I haven't heard anything about this. Gonna ask for a briefing. Pretty sure he's either wrong or lying. So he's accusing him of lying. All right, guess what? Weird. As the chairman of the Subcommittee on Intelligence and Special Operations and a border state member of Congress, he didn't know about this story, and it's absolutely true. Because look at this headline from Axios, which is a mainstream media outlet from former Washington Post and other journalists. Scoop, 4 people matching terror watch list arrested at border. And if you read the article, and you can look it up on Axios.com, they identify who these people were and what countries they came from. And guess what? They match exactly Kevin McCarthy's description in that video. Funny how Ruben Gallego, who is on the Intelligence Subcommittee, doesn't know about this. Maybe he's not very intelligent, and maybe they need more intelligence on the Intelligence Subcommittee, and maybe he should look into things before he calls his colleagues liars, as he did with him. So there's that. Now, as we speak, the North Dakota Senate, yesterday and today, has been considering the trans bill that we discussed on this show. Do you remember we had Representative Ben Koppelman who introduced this bill? There have been bills like this now all over the country. Republicans have been introducing them. Ben Koppelman was one of the first, if not the first, to introduce a bill that in order to compete against people in high school and college sports, you have to match the gender from birth of the people you're competing against. So in other words, we don't want men who took hormones, and the hormones do not mask their natural strength as a man, competing against girls. It's not fair. So this passed the North Dakota House. The Senate is taking it up right now, and this is going to pass. I guarantee it. Now, if you support this bill, which makes common sense, you're a bigot. You're a racist, even though it has nothing to do with race. You're intolerant. You're a phobe. You're phobic. You're transphobic. No, we're not. Listen, I understand people have conditions up here in their head that make them want to chop things off or add things that they weren't born with, appendages. But fine, I don't believe in persecuting or harassing them for that. Ben Koppelman doesn't either. We just don't want them to have unfair advantages against girls. It's not fair. And your rights do not trump a whole team of girls or a whole group of female athletes. They don't. You want to mutilate your body, transform your body into something else, won't change your DNA, won't change your chromosomes. You're still the gender you were born with by those measures, which is real science and biology. You know, the science they keep telling us to trust, but they don't suddenly trust it when it comes to this. You can do that, but that does not give you the right to compete against girls and beat them. That's what happens. We've shown you the videos. We showed you that track meet video. So there is broad support for this around America. That's why these bills are passing. Look at this tweet with the poll. So look at this. This is not from a conservative media outlet. This is Vanessa Santos, who is from Politico, which is also former Washington Post journalist. Playbook PM kicks off with the results of a Politico morning consult poll showing broad support for the position to ban transgender athletes from competing in women's sports. Look at this. Broad support. Men, yeah, there we have it. Men supported 59 to 29. Women, 46 to 34. Republicans, 74 to 15. Democrats, all right, so 42% oppose, 40 support. That's within the margin of error. That's a tie, even among the Liberal Party, Democrats. Independents, 49 support, 33 oppose. Gen Z, also, that's within the margin of error. It's basically a tie. 43 support, 44 oppose. Millennials, 56 support, 28 oppose. Baby boomers 50% support a ban, 32% oppose. This is a winning issue as well, and Republicans should jump on this. Now, I want you to take a look at my tweet regarding a video we are going to show you probably on tomorrow's show. But take a look at my tweet about this. All right, so this is a father who testified before the Missouri legislature as they had a committee hearing that was taking this up. And I feel for this dad. We will play his video tomorrow. He's very sympathetic. He's the father, of a trans child. But fine, he wants to treat his son that now is a daughter with respect, that now pretends to be a daughter. Great. You can do what you want. We're not going to interfere in your parenting. But don't be unfair to other girls who are real girls who are not your daughter, that are going to have their opportunities taken away from them unfairly. And I said, I feel for this dad, but he says let his transgender daughter be who she is and play girls tennis against real girls. I played tennis in high school. I did. And I was very good at it, but I could never beat a guy like his daughter. His daughter has an unfair physical advantage, and it's just not fair. We believe in fairness, not legislated fairness, which is what allowing trans athletes to compete against girls is. We believe in real fairness. Let like people compete against like people, the same gender, not this fakery. Remember, this is not fair, and we have to treat people with respect, just as trans want to be treated with respect. Things are not always as they seem, and we'll see you tomorrow.